take very much. So we're just waiting for a little glow. That looks great. So now you can bring it in a little closer to yourself. We'll go about halfway down the flame. And just try to stay out in the back couple inches of the flame. It's a little too hot there. Alright, looking good. So next we're going to adjust your grip a little. So you can let go for a sec. And now you can hold back behind my hand here, and you can rest your wrist on the table for this part. So this is where we're going to build up that little ball. So what we'll do is heat up the glass until it gets soft. And then we're just going to let it flop over onto itself. Then when it's almost about to fall off, we'll flip it and do that again, and we'll just keep going until we get enough glass. We want it to be about the size of a coin. And again, totally fine if it falls off. That's not a big deal. You can just pick it back up with the rod, no problem. But also, it doesn't really have to look like much of anything yet either, so don't worry if it's not perfectly round or even. We're going to even it all out a few times as we go.
It's not hard.
Yeah, it takes some practice for sure.
I have a lot of hand dexterity.
I think that looks pretty good to me. You did a really nice job keeping that nice and even too. So I'm going to borrow this from you for a sec, and next we'll get ready to add the dots. So you can go ahead and start to heat up the black rod. So yeah, downward like a pencil to the flame. While you're doing that, I'm just going to let this one chill out for a minute, so that way it's not moving around on us as much. This one does have to stay hot too though, so whenever we're not working with it, we're going to just sort of park it out with the tip of the flame, keep it warm. Hang on.
What is that block made out of?
Graphite.
Okay.
Hang on to this here. Yeah, it's called a marver. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to make some dots. I'll guide you in the first couple. Yeah, the graphite's nice because it absorbs the heat a lot faster than a little bit out in the air. So I just kind of use it to speed up the cool down a little.
I gotcha.
Okay, so that looks pretty good. So what we'll do is just gently touch down and then pull up to the flame like that. And then again, if we pull outside of the flame, we'll get these strings. So if you get those, just make sure to stick it back in the flame and melt it away satisfyingly.
Okay.
And then we'll keep adding dots. Alright, so I'll let you take over here. Right, exactly. Up close to the stick there. Do some in between those guys there too. Up here, between these three. Yeah. And go probably down to the tip, we'll get one through there.
I think that's pretty good.
I think so too. Cool, so you can set that rod down. Next we're going to get ready to flatten it, so go ahead and grab that little tool over there. So we'll take a second to melt this into a ball, and then we'll rest it on the table, and we'll use the knife as a little push down. So it kind of does two things at once. So it sort of, it makes a line down the middle, but it also flattens the bottom, so it kind of stays flat when you're wearing it. So you want to make sure that we have the correct shape before we flatten it, otherwise yeah, it doesn't flatten very nicely. Just got to do it. Alright, that's pretty good. This guy will go here, so we'll rest it on the table, and then come on in, give it a little push. Beautiful, and come on up, perfect. So you can set that down. So next we're going to make the head, so go ahead and grab your black again. So downward like a pencil, tip your flame. Good, and you can hang on to this now too. So this time we're going to do that little kind of winding, spinning motion to make the head. Good. So let's get that black a little warmer now. We want to get this fairly hot. We're going to make sort of a big dot. Well, you can see where the heat is too, so we're just trying to get a nice even glow all over. Alright, that looks pretty good. So this one's going to go down here now. And then to add our head, we're just going to touch down, and we're just going to hold the black in the flame while we spin. It's just eventually going to start wrapping the glass around onto itself, so kind of give you a little bit better control of the side of the head this way. We'll just keep going a little bit more, we'll go a little bigger. It's a lot of like rubbing your stomach, petting your head sort of deal. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll stop there. Alright, so keep this in your hand. We're going to use it to make the eyes, but first we're just going to melt in the head so it's a little more even. It's not quite as UFO shaped yet. Yeah, and I do think they look better when they're a little more squat back, so we'll just use a little gravity for that. Yeah. Alright, so to make the eyes, we're just going to do little dots. So go ahead and heat up the tip of that rod again, and you can take this back here too. So we're just going to do, I like to do them right directly on the side of the head here. So what we'll do is bring this one down below the flame again, and we're just going to touch down gently. And then we'll gently pull up. This time we want to leave these dots a little raised. Do the same thing on the other side. Nice. I think that's pretty even. Cool. So you can set the black rod down. This one will go back out to here for now, and I'll go ahead and heat up your clear.
Okay.
So downward like a pencil to the flame. This is just going to be for the loop here. So we didn't always do the glass loops. In the past, we did like a glue-on sort of thing. The glass ones I think look a lot nicer. They're actually a little bit stronger too. We definitely had to revamp this project quite a lot when we switched to the loops. But yeah, like we tried it with black loops and they just looked like weird little anteaters. So the clear is the way to go, I think. Alright, looking good. So let's point these at each other here. And go ahead and hold them both overhand. Alright, and then what we'll do is get them to the right temperature. And then gently we're going to stick them together like that. Alright, so let's hold for a second, wait for it to cool a little. And then we're going to melt away the back end. Well, not quite entirely, we're just going to get it thin down here so it's easier to melt when we're all done. So we'll just heat up our connection spot. This is called spot heating. But now it looks pretty good, so we'll come on out. And then real gently now, we're just going to pull it a little bit. And we're not going to pull it off completely just yet. We're just going to make it thin so it's easier to melt apart. Beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to borrow this from you now. And next we're going to make our loop. And the hardest part about the loop is to not melt in the eyes too much. And they are sticking out a little more than I want them to, so you want to kind of melt them in a little bit while we're doing this. Better if they have kind of a small loop too. Waiting for this to get to the right temperature, and I can tell based on the color, also how it pulls when I start to pull it. So if it starts to pull really unevenly, that means my temperature is probably not quite right. So if you wait too long, what happens is it freezes up. You can't do anything. Right. Fine line there for sure. Now we're just going to make sure everything's connected well, and then we can take it off the rod. Let's just strengthen our connection spot. And straighten it too. It's it. Very much. It's pretty good to me. Awesome. Yay. Alright, so now take it off the rod. Again, I'm going to use these tweezers here, and I do want to heat them up a little first. It's just a bit more gentle on the glass. You can see it's kind of turning red back there again too, so I'm going to work a little heat back into that space too before I melt it. But I have the tool warm enough now, so I should be able to hold it. I'm just going to get rid of this pointy bit on the end here. Those ladybugs have round butts and not pointy ones, so let's try that. Alright, and if you want to take off your glasses, get a look, feel free. So yeah, the red is going to turn red when it cools. It just looks very dark at the moment. Yeah, I think it's really good. Super cute. Thank you. Look at it over here.
Let me see it real quick before you put it in. Let's see. I was having a hard time focusing. It's okay. We'll see it later.
Yeah, we will. Thank you.
Yeah, just it's black now anyway, right?
Right.
Not much to see right now.
That's cool.
All right, nice enough, friends.
Thank you.